because I was able to see and mimic and learn from them, when I got back home, I was a better teacher. I was a better coach. I was a better athlete myself. I was just so excited, like, Jewish sports camp, that like this is my thing.
For many people in the world, there is a moment of clarity when you see the world differently than you saw it previously. Those are the moments when we wake up to life. I'm Rabbi Josh Bennett, and this is Waking Up to Life, a podcast about those moments. I'm so excited today to welcome to the show my good friend, Jackie Gordon. Jackie is the new director the last 2 years of the Union for Reform Judaism, the URJ 6 Points Sports Academy in Asheville, North Carolina. Jackie, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
It's great to have you here at Temple Israel. You're here this weekend for a recruiting trip. We've met lots of families who are interested in the specialty camps. But you're in this position after what is really an amazingly long process of getting to this stage of your career. You were in public education as a gym teacher in sort of a regular educational role. And then something happened. Tell us that story.
Yeah. So I've been a teacher. I was a teacher for 20 years, but at this point, it was 2010. I was a teacher for about, 4 or 5 years at that point, maybe. And I also, I was doing my sports thing, my coaching thing at the middle school, 6th, 7th, 8th grade. But I also had this work that I did at the temple. And I've been the retreat coordinator since I was in high school. And so I had these two components that were really important to me: my athleticism, my coaching, my teaching, and also this Jewish stuff that was, separate. And one day I was cleaning up from a retreat, putting all the materials away, and my bat mitzvah tutor, who's my colleague, Andy Mark, she handed me this postcard, and it said, Jewish Sports Camp, they're hiring. It was like this new camp. And so I applied, and I said, hey, I've been working camp for all my life, summer camp, nature camp, all those things. I've been an athlete, I've been a coach, I'm a teacher, I'm Jewish, I'm in this space. Sounds like a good fit. And I applied and showed up. And I'll tell you, when I arrived, I was surrounded by, there were only 4 or 5 of our head coaches. One was an Olympian. One played for the Red Sox, owned a batting center for 30 years at the time. One was a NCAA soccer coach, and I'm a middle school PE teacher who's taught a little high school lacrosse and field hockey and like middle school basketball. My girls couldn't even throw in the ball and like make it through half court.
It's a pretty overwhelming moment.
Yeah, for sure. And so I remember just learning and listening and like, oh my God, like I'm not a coach with this level of skill and experience. And I was like, I don't know if I really fit in with these guys. Like, am I as good? Should I be a head coach here? And I remember my little brother got married that first weekend of camp. And so I left camp in the middle of the session. And everyone was like, oh my God, how's camp? And I was like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if these are really my people. I don't know if what I'm doing is good enough. Like, I felt like, oh my God, the melding of sports and Jewish and these values, I was like, this could be my jam, but like, I didn't know if I fit in. I was like, I didn't know if I was good enough. I remember coming back, the guys picked me up from the airport. We went straight out to hang out. And they were just waiting for me. And I like realized in that moment when I came back, the welcome that they had for me, that they really respected me and like the work that I was doing. Like they saw me pushing and challenging. And although I didn't have a credential like Olympics or NCAA, like they really appreciated me for like what I was adding to the field and the values and the relationships that I was building, and like my current level of coaching. And I I knew I was going to flourish from them. And because I was able to see and mimic and learn from them, when I got back home, I was a better teacher. I was a better coach. I was a better athlete myself. I was just so excited, like Jewish sports camp, that like this is my thing. And it was just incredible.
It's an amazing story to hear because I didn't know Jackie back then, but I know Jackie along the way and what you've become. It's really interesting to hear you say this because as a coach, it's exactly what you would tell any player. You want to surround yourself with people who are better than you because you become better from them, right? That's how you coach.
Yeah, look, it's humbling. I remember listening to Coach Barry the first day, like giving the setup. I was like, oh my God, like we're not practicing, we're training, right? Like just the language. And I use that all the time. Like I just started to do what he did, right? Like I was humble enough to be like, okay, like he's done this for a long time. And so I just mimicked. But then my brain turned on and what I know and what I feel, I started to add my own voice to those things. And I think that's really what like I saw myself grow because I took all the best things that I was hearing and just transformed it into my voice, right? And I think that's the humbling experience to like learn and then take it to the next level.
So one of the things that's most interesting about this story to me is that you, as you just described, you evolved as a coach, but something else also evolved in you. It's something that I've had the chance to witness, and that was the merging together of the athletic side and the Jewish side. What my listeners don't know is that Jackie Gordon, the lacrosse coach, became Jackie Gordon, known at camp only as JLIFE, Jewish Life.
JLIFE.
And you were able to take, maybe because of what you were given by those coaches, your talents, and not only be a coach about athletics, but also be a Jewish coach with the faculty that comes to camp every summer, elevating that part of camp. So how did that happen? How did you make the decision to become JLIFE?
You know, I think in my time, like, and just in my own personal experience as an athlete, I have a coach in mind, Coach P. She was my high school basketball coach. She's the coach that I want to be every day. Like I try to be her. And I've actually got a chance to tell her that, which is amazing. But like I was the best player. I was always the most fit. She challenged me to like find my role. And I was never the greatest player. I was never the tallest or the fastest. But like I just know I'm self-aware. Like I know what my role should be and I know what I'm good at. And I think what was really important to me was teaching that on the field, but those values, right? Teamwork, sportsmanship, like intention, growth, like those are our core values, pride, like those matter to me, I think a lot. And so I think it was a very easy transition for me to come into the space. I've always wanted to coach with those words and intention in mind. It's hard to do at home in Baltimore County Public School. Like there's no space for that. Like I'm the outsider, right? But here at camp at 6 Points, like that was part of the mission, to be teaching and coaching at a high level, but also to incorporating these values. And I think I just did that really well because it was important to me. And I feel like that's something that I got from my coach that I look up to.
But you don't have any formal Jewish training. So you just took the lessons of your Reformed Jewish background and applied them in a practical way, in the same way that you might coach an athlete to be a better athlete. Yeah. You coached a group of counselors and staff members and campers to be better, more engaged Jewish athletes. So was that, it just came naturally?
I think it's just an authenticity, like, right? Like I'm a big show person. I've been a teacher. I got to be up at the front of the room and make it fun and exciting. But I also think it's just believable. Like I actually believe in all of that stuff. I think it's important to make friends. Like my best friends are athletes and people that I've played with. So like, I think that's really strong. And so like, I truly believe in it. And I think it's really important for the kids these days, like to learn that and be a part of sports. It's not just better technique and whatever. That makes you a whole person and a better athlete. And then taking it to the next level to become JLIFE was just like, we didn't have that Jewish education piece that made sense as an athlete. like so much, right? We were trying. We had great Jewish educators, great Jewish leaders, but they weren't necessarily athletes and having that athletic mindset. Like on my day-to-day basis, I am strategizing just like I would be on the field. Like everything is getting better. It's failing and like figuring out what the next step is, like picking up the next play. That's how I like live my life. And so like I always have this athletic brain, but like so like my Judaism comes through as an athlete. And I think that was the connection to say, like, we don't just need Jewish stuff. We need like what does Jewish on athletic stuff mean? And what is athletics with this Jewish lens? And I think that's what I took into what is Jewish life at camp and how does that look, feel, and sound that makes sense to all these kids out there and to everyone at camp, like why it's so important, how it makes more sense.
So the two things that I heard you say as core values here are authenticity and strategic planning. And intentionality. So if you take that authentic person that you are, that's exactly what you were coming to camp that first year. Mm-hmm. You were just you. Yeah. I'm authentically me. I'm going to be the best kind of coach that I can be. But I'm hearing maybe we as a Jewish community need to apply this strategic thinking and authenticity to be the better version of ourselves for the future. Our Judaism may not look like the Judaism of our predecessors. Right. A sports camp's Judaism doesn't look like a traditional camp's Judaism. Yeah. How do we authentically represent that well here? So what does it look like at camp now? Like, give me a specific example of where Judaism and athleticism interface and interplay in a way that makes camp different from other camps.
Yeah, I set up a lot of our people at camp, and our head coaches are a huge group, and our faculty are a huge group that come. We have rabbis, we have educators that come in to help support Jewish life at camp. Our head coaches are obviously the sport experts, right? I have an Olympian at camp. I've got the Red Sox coach at camp, right? Like I've got D1 basketball coaches, right? Across. How do they do it, right? And I think like the moment is for a kid, your excellent expert coach who's training you hard in whatever your sport is, and they're challenging you and giving you all the skills, technique, higher level than you would get at home. When they stop and say, time out, what was the value of the day today? What is intention?
And it's a Hebrew word.
Yeah, right, exactly. What does kavanah look like, right? What is like smicha? What does that look like on the field? Like, how does that relate to you in the space? And the kids are kind of like, my coach is taking time out of training and they're like a really good coach and they're talking about these values. Maybe there's some importance here, right? And there's value in that. And they're like, oh, maybe I should care, right? And like they get it. And on the flip side, same thing that I tell my rabbis and my educators that come in. I said, you're the Jewish expert. You've got all this knowledge and wisdom. Go play sports. Like your job at my camp is to come and run around, is play in the basketball game or just be on the sideline. I had one rabbi who just came down and was a human cone at lacrosse when I was coaching. But just them being there was like, oh man. So then at the end of the session, when I say, hey, Rabbi, you have anything to add? Or they're up there giving a value of the day, talking about these values, or, even during a Shabbat service and they're saying something or sharing something, the kids are like, oh man, I'm going to listen to Rabbi Josh because we were just running a mile together, or they were in my basketball game and they're just as bad as I am, or man, they're really good too. It just breaks down all the walls to say, like, we're just all authentic people, right? We're good, we're bad, we're growing, we're getting better. And it's easy, right? You care about the people and the things that they're saying because you're taking time out for the importance.
I also think that another thing that happens at camp is not every member of the staff, especially our coaching staff, is Jewish.
Yeah.
And so sometimes it's an interplay between the pride that kids feel in that Jewish expression and how it rubs off on a non-Jewish coach, where a non-Jewish coach comes in not knowing much about Judaism and all of a sudden is teaching Jewish values. That says something about the Jewish people, about our Jewish tradition, that it is a transformative tradition. And if our kids are seeing, hey, something I know as a Jew actually affects my non-Jewish coach and they're talking my language, that's a lesson that lasts outside of camp. It's a life lesson of how we can transmit our Judaism to the world to combat the anti-Semitism that we're experiencing in the world.
Sportsmanship, huge, right? You're like, that's kindness through the world. And like all great coaches are trying to teach that. And we have this really unique space that we've created that allows those conversations to happen and that to be just as important and right beside high-level skills, high-level training, high-level fitness, all the other stuff that's going to make you elite on the court. But this is also going to make you a better teammate, athlete, but person in the world. All great coaches teach with that. And the coaches that come, they feel that. And it's fun to be able to doing that with so much intention.
On this podcast, I often have to be the rabbi and I have to bring in Jewish values. You've made it very easy for me. I don't have to bring any Jewish values and you have brought the Jewish values. But I will say there is a life lesson here. Your aha moment, your waking up to life moment was, I'm not good enough, and then diving in and realizing that not only are you good enough, but you can elevate to another level. I think that there is a Jewish lesson here. We need to be proud of who we are. We need to take our Jewish expression, whatever it is, whether you light Shabbat candles every week or you've never lit Shabbat candles, take your Judaism as it is and elevate to the next level. Just dive in and something magical can happen and you have no idea what the ceiling for Judaism is. This is not just a Jackie Gordon camp lesson. This is a life lesson for our Jewish expression. I'm so grateful for you sharing that because it, as always on the show, the little moments of other people's lives, I think are lessons that everybody can learn from. So thank you so much for helping us understand that.
Thank you for having me. This is so fun.
So what you may not know is that at the end of every podcast, I ask our guests to share something that is either you're reading, a book that you're reading, or a show that you're watching, or some podcast that you're listening to that has sort of changed the way you see the world also. Is there anything you're reading, listening to, watching that you can share with us today?
That Next Level CEO leadership book that actually you gave me is something that I'm really working on. It's bringing some self-awareness to myself, kind of how I'm setting up the vision and managing and coaching the people underneath me. But one of the great things is kind of checking in with each other, right? And having this authentic conversation about what's working and what's not working, right? A lot of people are like, do it this way, or like, kind of like afraid to try new things and fail. And I think one of the lessons I'm learning is kind of to be honest and open. Like, is this working well? What can I do to help you? And kind of like giving space for that and my players and my people that I'm managing and on my team. But it's something that I'm like stepping back to really elevate everybody else around me. But also, being able to coach and guide as we go next level. So that Next Level leadership book has been more for me internally to see how I can grow and be better coaching my teammates that are on my team in this organization.
Amazing. So to clarify for everybody who's listening, the book is called Next Level Nonprofit by Chris Lambert. It's an operating system for nonprofit organizations, but I think the lessons, as you've said, are universal lessons 100%. To make us better. Jackie, so excited to have you here. Thank you again. For all of you who are listening today, if you know somebody who has a story to tell, something small or something big, and they would be a great guest, please reach out to me. You can always find out my information down below in the description wherever you're getting your podcasts. And until next time, I hope you will all continue to wake up to life.